30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in to what is Football Friday. Now, normally we would be at a high school, but I have learned a couple of things. Number one, I learned that a lot of the games have been played on Thursday. And we'll get into that in a few minutes. I've also learned that a lot of the schools then headed out for spring break. And so I've decided to go on spring break as well. And today, running the show from the Metro Nashville Police Department is Officer Garen Hoskins. I'm going to leave. You have a great show. I'll see you later.
Well, George, first I would say you're in the wrong season. It's fall break.
Okay.
And
what did I call it? Did I call it spring break? Oh, good Lord.
You're just trying to fast forward into 2024, I think.
Maybe.
What would we do without Garen already?
I know.
Oh, my God.
We need a little bit more football season. I still need my football.
Yes. You'll get plenty in the next 3 weeks. Garen, for those who haven't figured it out, is a big University of Tennessee fan.
Go Vols.
It's called A&M at Bama at Kentucky. 3 weeks from now, you'll know exactly where your team is.
It's going to be a gauntlet, that's for sure. We'll see what Milton can do, and as long as that defense keeps that wall up right there, I think our offense will find a way. But it's going to be a gauntlet.
So we're going to have some fun today. Now, we'll do some of the high school football things that we would normally do, but we'll also get into college football. We'll get into pro football. Billy, if you will, turn my mic off for a minute.
This is when Garen and I take over. I'll go ahead and start my cam. Did you recover yet, George?
Let's hope so.
You want to get into an
update?
You know,
when you get that feeling, you want to go update first and then Garen?
Let's do it. Let's go.
We'll let him comment on whatever's going on.
Sounds great.
You still work for the police, correct?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay.
But
after this, you may not be.
I have multiple jobs.
Let's start last night. We thought it was going to be an ugly game, but it ended up being a pretty good – well, not a good game, but the Bears put up 40 points. They beat the Commanders 40-20. DJ Moore had a big day. Sam Howell had a big day, but the Commanders' defense was nowhere to be found. I mean, giving up 40 points to a Bears team, that's a little concerning.
And Magic went on Twitter, X, if you want to call it that, and ripped into Washington's coaching staff. And I'll be honest, I completely agree with him. I don't know that I have seen a team less prepared for a game than the old Deadskins were last night. 27-3 at the half against the Bears.
You know, I saw it coming a little bit.
Did you?
You know, the 0-4, and Justin Fields was looking better and better. I just saw at one point they were just going to be tired of losing. And, you know, when that game started, I had the Bears all the way. And I think, what's his name? The quarterback, Ryan something.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Fitzmagic, as he calls it. He was the only one that picked him, and I was like,
really?
That's what I would have done as well. So my pick was right. But, yeah, I had a feeling that eventually at some point the Bears were going to be done losing.
Well, when we get to Plaster Bet of the Day, this just in, you may have had it right. I did not.
Well, it is what it is, but you win some, you lose some.
What else you got, Billy? By the way, show people this place is packed today. It is a Rugrat Fest. They've got a big tournament in here. It's hard to really tell from that. But if we were to show you the rinks and the parking lot, I've never seen this place more full.
It's packed. I mean, it's packed. This image right here is just a
Doesn't
tiny,
do
tiny
justice.
bit. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, packed house tonight. I mean, it was a tough place to park too. I mean,
Very tough.
I got lucky today coming in here, but we've also got college football tonight. Kansas State, Oklahoma State at 6:30 on ESPN. Oklahoma State struggling. They had that bad loss early in the season.
They have probably had them, Baylor, Vandy, as big a slide from last year to this year as any team in the country. They're not very good.
Yeah, there's some Power 5 schools that have had some bad losses to some Group of 5 schools this year that you go, whoa, how in the world did that happen? You've also got Nebraska and Illinois, a couple of desperate teams. That'll be 7 o'clock on FS1. So a couple of Friday night games tonight. We've also got some NFL news to get to. The Dolphins have traded for Chase Claypool, and they put Taron Armstead on the IR. They will send a 2025 sixth-round pick to the Bears in exchange for Claypool. So the Bears obviously didn't need Claypool last night, but the Dolphins just got a little bit better at the receiver position. They already got Tyreek Hill, but now they're picking up Chase Claypool.
Well, they got some others as well. They got a lot of speed. Claypool's an interesting deal because when he first hit the scene with the Steelers, he was hell on wheels, and I don't know what's happened. Clearly, he got into it with the Bears management, and they basically told him, you're not traveling to D.C., and you knew they were going to trade him.
The Dolphins right now remind me of kind of Kansas City a few years ago when they were just gathering weapons on weapons and weapons on offense. And I mean, hearing that trade that Claypool's gone to the Dolphins, it's like, go figure, the Dolphins would get another great wide receiver.
Also in the NFL, weird story with Jamal Adams. The NFL has decided not to discipline Adams for his actions toward the independent concussion doctor appointed by the League and Players Association following his sideline evaluation during Monday night's game against the Giants. The NFL came to the decision after reviewing the incident and seeing Adams' apology earlier this week. He was making his season debut. He was injured on the 9th play of the game when he took a knee to his helmet while trying to bring down Daniel Jones. He stayed down on the field for a moment, and then he appeared
wobbled.
Yeah, while trying to stand up, and he continued to appear unstable.
And let me say, if I had been the concussion doctor, I would have done exactly what that one did. It's a little bit like being a police officer. You're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, sometimes I saw that play live, and I saw that knee to the side of the helmet, and then he woke up wobbly. That doctor absolutely made the right decision for him. He would. Wasn't he out, the player out last year for extended period of time?
Adams, he was out,
Yeah, so he's getting back, and I could understand that frustration, but the doctor made the best decision for him. That doctor's looking at the long-term, sustainability of playing football, and it's just bad luck, and I could understand his frustration.
This is a really slippery slope because players will lie if they have to get back into a game. And that's why they've got the independent guys. I wouldn't want to be one because you can't win no matter what you do with the players. But the league is right in what they're doing. I don't always side with this league, but on this, they are absolutely right.
Yeah, and you said it's a tough spot to be in if you're the doctor. I mean, you're trying to do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you can't win.
Yeah, they're just doing their job, going about it, and those players know that doctor can decide if they play or not. So, it's a tough spot, rock and a hard place.
Did you notice Billy's Father Ryan shirt?
I did. I noticed that.
Oh my God.
Father Ryan, they're struggling right now. But
you know what? Speaking of struggling, let's get to BGA there. Yeah,
there you go.
Speaking of struggling,
and there's your team.
This patch never struggles.
No, I believe undefeated.
Because consistency is key.
Yep,
yes,
absolutely.
So let's get to this one. Cam Newton, he has come out and said that the Jets will have to pay him more than $5.5 million to sign with the team. He said, "You're not about to go sit up there and penny pinch me. I'm not about to sit up here and sign no $5 million deal, bro. Those days are over. I'd be wasting my time." So there's been a lot of talk, a lot of rumors going on about the Jets. What quarterback do they pick up? And, I mean, I think right now, Zach Wilson's been fine. I mean, at least last game, I thought he played a lot better.
This is him trying to get into the headlines. The Jets have not even thought of him. this is, 2 years since he's retired, basically?
Yeah.
I mean, who's kidding who?
Yeah, I mean, as far as Cam Newton coming to the Jets, I agree with you, Billy. Like, Zach Wilson looked a lot better against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he was hitting the routes when he needed to hit them. But the Kansas City Chiefs are a tough team. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons, and for a backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I think if he continues to play like that, there's no reason to go quarterback shopping.
No.
Well, you know what's coming Sunday. JETS goes to Denver, where Sean Payton mouthed off before the season started about the Jets' offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, who he replaced in Denver. And he made clear that he thought Hackett did a pitiful job, which, by the way, it does kind of look like.
Yeah.
But why he said it, I have no idea. So now they play on Sunday, and it'll be interesting to see if the Jets players rally around Nathaniel Hackett. I look for one of them over near the Jets sideline to tell Sean Payton to shove it.
I mean, it's going to be a heck of a game, and the Denver Broncos have not looked great this season.
No.
So if the Jets come in with a little chip on their shoulder and they beat the brakes off of Denver, I mean, I don't going back to the quarterback search. I think you leave it as is, as it's going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look,
I think Wilson eliminated a lot of the talk around it. At least I hope so.
Yeah,
I mean,
for now.
Yeah, now.
This is a really important game, but they need to game plan him for success. This has not all been his fault. They have played this close to the vest, kind of what I call Cro-Magnon football. And all of a sudden, Sunday night, they got no choice but to let him loose.
Yeah.
They were down 17-0. He played great.
Yeah.
Other than that, missed the fumble on the snap. I mean, that was bad, and he felt bad. I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
But that was really the only mistake he made.
They even caught him on camera saying, hey, that's on me. I lost this game and all that. And you could see all those players kind of rally around him and, tapping on his helmet and tapping on his shoulder. I think the Jets are buying into it. But, I mean, Zach Wilson for the week leading up to that game, coming in with, Joe Namath calling him out and everything, that's a lot of pressure.
I was happy for him.
Yeah, I was too.
Another big game Sunday, Rams-Eagles. Eagles, of course, we know how good they are. The Rams, I think, are underrated team right now. But the Rams are getting Cooper Kupp back. He has been activated. He will play against the Eagles, according to the team. So he's back. I don't know how active he'll be.
Puka.
Yeah, Puka Nacua. I think you can go ahead and pencil him in as rookie offensive player of the year right now in the NFL. So Cooper Kupp is back. Also, Kenny Pickett will play. He's off the injury report and will play for against the Ravens on Sunday. But they do have Pat Freiermuth out. The Steelers do. So
big tight end.
Yeah. And let's see here. Giants running back Saquon Barkley is questionable for the Dolphins game,
which means they got no chance.
Giants are one of the. You talked about earlier teams that you just haven't. You've been confused by. I've been confused by the Giants this year. Because, you saw what they did last year, but that's what happens when you don't have your running back.
2 words. They suck.
Daniel Jones is every game you look at his face, and, he's a good quarterback, and he's mobile outside the pocket. But, you can look at his face sometimes when those defense shut those wide receivers down.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, where do I throw it? I guess I'm going to run. And you can't survive on 5-6 plays.
No.
Or getting sacked 10 times.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back to that Ravens-Steelers game, Odell Beckham, who missed multiple games this season, says he'll play against the Ravens or against the Steelers. So he's on the Ravens.
Yeah. He'll
play against the Steelers. Again, got a lot of receivers that are getting back from injuries. I don't know how effective he'll be, but that's good for the Ravens. They've looked sort of pedestrian, a little bit worse than I expected them to look.
Yeah.
So Odell will be back for the Ravens, and that just about does it.
Okay, so here's what we are going to do. Officer Garen Hoskins now has participated in his first update, came through with flying colors,
Thank you.
appears to know a lot of sports, looks like he could be a great substitute. So you know what? I'm going to get the hell out of here. When we come back, we'll actually talk a little bit of police business, and then we'll really get into what we do on a football Friday. By the way, have you got a scoreboard?
I do.
Okay.
We had a few big games last night.
Let's go with them.
Around the state. We want to make sure we see that bottom one here. There we go. Page beat Hillsborough 35-7. CPA dominated Antioch 52-14. And Rossview all over McGavock 30-0. So there were a couple of other games last night. I'll try to find a couple more scores, get them out here. But I think these were the three biggest games last night, and they were all blowouts. So a lot of dominant teams around the mid-state this year. We've seen a lot of good teams at the spots we've been this year. So there's some of the big scores from last night.
Okay. Later on in the hour, George Robinson from the Tennessean will join us. There are some big games tonight, although not as many as normal because a lot of the schools did play last evening. We'll mix a little football with a little police work, and who knows, the defending National League Eastern Division champions may come up at some point today. Go Bravos. We're back after this.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from, and for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
I'm Watson Brown.
I'm Kelly Holcomb.
I'm Billy Derrick.
We're the George Plaster Show. We've been Nashville's best sports talk for the last 30 years. And you know what? We still are.
Catch us live weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time in Nashville on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, the podcast version is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Looking for more than just awards and trophies? Southern Trophy House is your one-stop solution. For over 60 years, their team has created lasting impressions with a personalized touch. From embroidery to screen-printed apparel to corporate awards, signs, and name badges, they have everything you need to keep your brand shining bright. With their knowledgeable customer service team, you can relax as they create, produce, pack, and ship merchandise and awards on time and on budget. That includes etched crystal awards, custom-cut acrylic name badges, embroidered Richardson ball caps, banners, screen-printed T-shirts, laser engraved Yeti cups and knives. Recognize your hardworking team from Southern Trophy House, where they do their best to help you recognize your best. Located at 2705 Nolensville Pike in Nashville, give them a holler, 615-256-7295. Visit southerntrophy.com. Southern Trophy House, for all your personalization and recognition needs. Well, when we put the concept of Football Friday together, where we wanted to devote close to and right at, in a lot of cases, an hour to high school football. High school football is important in this area. The Metro Nashville Police Department stepped up to help us with that. I first contacted a longtime friend, Don Aaron, who is their public information director, and he in turn got me with this guy, Officer Garen Hoskins, who joins us officially. You did an unofficial.
More than just an officer.
Oh,
I mean,
I would think that this film footage, it'll be all over their precincts.
ESPN's going to be contacting Garen right after this, saying, "Man, you did a great job earlier today on the Plaster Show." They're
going to want you to wear that vest, though.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be honest with you. That vest I could do without. That's a lot of weight.
It's a little bulky.
It is. Whenever I'm walking through a crowd and I bump people, I got to try to keep it together. I almost feel like a turtle with a turtle shell.
So tell me what's going on in the police world right now.
Well, with the recruitment unit, we're all over right now. We've been in New York, Mississippi, Georgia, surrounding states recently, doing a lot of college lectures, career fairs right now. Another good thing that we've got coming up is we have a Faith and Blue event that I will be at tomorrow. It's at East Community Center. It's at 600 Woodland Drive. And what it is it's just a big community event based around faith and law enforcement. And it's going to be a great time. I'll be out there.
Happening all over the country, isn't it?
Happening all over the country, but specifically here in Nashville, that's where the East Precinct, East Community Center, that'll be our location. But at the same time, we're all over the place right now. But I hope if you'd like, 10 to 2 p.m. tomorrow, we'll be out there. Come join, say hey. I'll tell you all about what we have. And if you're looking for a job, we'll give you some information and try to get you employed with the Metro Nashville Police Department.
Okay, one of the themes of what we've done now going on 2 months worth, hard to believe it's been that long, but you all have very actively gotten into the recruitment business.
We have.
It was not always this way, and in fact, you all have formed essentially a recruitment team.
We have. We're a group of 7, and I've mentioned that a couple of different times. But we go everywhere. We recruit everywhere. But the big thing is we look for those good attributes in people. So if there's anyone listening or watching out there right now and you yourself are thinking, man, I've always wanted to do that. Well, now's the time to do it. We have great opportunity, great benefits, great pay. And at the same time, if you're like, well, that's not necessarily for me, I don't think I could do the job. If you know someone, a grandson, a granddaughter, anybody, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, spouse, it's a great position to do. And not only the training that we give you is not only great for just the career, it's great for life. You're going to learn medical skills. You're going to learn communication skills. I mean, heck, if you were here at the early part of the show, we went through the sport.
This is not a good recruitment tool.
Hey, we went through the sports show, and I was able to hang along with it. I mean, there's a lot of communication tactics I used to get me through that. So
you hung a lot better on the update than I would in police work.
I don't know, George. With a little bit of training, I think we can get you squared away.
So have you all reaped the benefits yet? Are you seeing things out of this recruitment team that you've created, are you all seeing victories out of this?
We have just last year was the first full year that my team had been together, and we recruited the Metro Nashville record-breaking year since the 60s. There's been no other year that we've recruited so many people. We recruited 245 people into the academy.
Really?
Absolutely. But as we've been talking about, we were lacking behind for so long that we're really playing catch up. And so, recruitment is wide open right now. And eventually we have 1,600 officers on the books. I could see that going into the 2000s within the next 5, 6, 7 years.
And as you and I talked, look, this is a different city than it was 10 years ago. And for a lot of people, a decidedly different city.
Absolutely. I mean, it's grown so much. The communities have changed. I tell people 10 years ago, you could walk down Broadway and ask 10 people where they're from. 7 of them would be from the Middle Tennessee area. Well, now that's totally flip-flopped. Someone like myself that's from Tennessee, born and raised, it's kind of a rare bird nowadays.
So I'm guessing that you get potential recruits from virtually anywhere, whether it's them seeing this, events that you end up going to. I remember the big night out at the Sounds. I'm guessing you're getting them, the candidates, a little bit of everywhere.
Oh yeah, our academy classes when we host them, which we host them 4 times a year, February, May, August, and November. 50% of our people coming in are from another state, and they're seeing the beauty of our city and seeing what awesome things we have, such as the Ford Ice Center, which we're in right now. It's very attractive. So when we get out there on the road, especially in New York and California and all those places, I'm selling the city as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm offering them a fantastic job with fantastic pay and benefits. And it's a job that if you would have asked me, I've been an officer for almost 10 years. If you asked me 10 years ago, Garen, would you do it again? Absolutely, I would.
You've become Butch Spirited.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, now that he's retired, they can hire you. So if somebody is seeing this over the weekend, because we have a lot of people that will in particular watch the Friday show over the weekend, and they say, wait a minute, I hadn't thought about that. What's the first step? What do they need to do?
First step is super, super easy. You go to our website, joinmnpd.com. Again, joinmnpd.com. It's got everything on there. It's got our salary, our benefits, everything that comes along with the job. If you have any questions, there's a tab on there. You can click on the recruitment team. You scroll down. I'm the second row. You'll see my ugly mug on the picture, and you pick Garen Hoskins. Send me an email, give me a phone call, and I'll answer all your questions and tell you all the great opportunities we have.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Have a good weekend. Tell Don Aaron I said hello.
I will. Thank you, sir.
That's Metro Nashville Police Department Officer Garen Hoskins joining us here for the weekly Friday visit. Billy, do we have players to watch tonight, even with less games?
We do. As you mentioned, George, we do have less games. And the thing is about less games, you've got more of a focus on a lot of different players. I think there's a lot of talent, as we've talked about throughout this couple of months, month period here, George. And we're going to start with Luke Masterson, offensive lineman at FRA. And obviously we know the success that FRA has been on.
Yes, and we know who they're playing tonight.
Yeah, we know who they're playing tonight.
We know who will be there to see that game.
I think we know who might potentially win that game, but we won't get into that. George, he is a North Carolina commit, so he's headed to Chapel Hill to play for Mac Brown and company. He's a three-star. Yep. He's a big kid, 6'6", 275, and he's a big part of that running game in front of Ty Clark, and they are 7-0 right now.
Wow.
So FRA is absolutely rolling, and what a head coach to have former offensive lineman in the NFL and at Vanderbilt, as we know, and Justin Geisinger. So really looking forward to seeing what FRA can do throughout the rest of this season. Up next, Jaron Sensabaugh. And if you recognize that,
we got a Titans tie here.
Well, not necessarily
Sort of.
Titans, sort of. His dad is Gerald Sensabaugh, retired NFL safety, had a great 8-year NFL career. And I want to say his uncle is Cody Sensabaugh, who
was a Titan.
Yep, he was a Titan as well. So great lineage, strong pedigree here. And he's a kid that has really kind of a late bloomer type of guy. He's committed to Vanderbilt, but he's got a lot of other schools after him. So he might be a tough player for Vanderbilt to keep on the recruiting trail. 6'1", 170. They travel to Father Ryan tonight. So looking forward to
yes, you know something about that.
Yes.
Thus the purple shirt.
That's hence the purple shirt.
Right.
Yes.
The free shirt.
Yeah. Moving on.
It is free, isn't it?
How'd you know it was free?
Well, I'm in radio. I've been in radio.
George, next up, Hank Weber, defensive lineman at Brentwood Academy. And we know how BA has struggled this year. We saw them take a loss to Father Ryan earlier this season. And, they've had some close games, but Hank Weber is one of the better players in the mid-state. He is committed to Wisconsin up there with the Badgers. And it'll be fun to see him the rest of the season and then what he's able to do at Wisconsin. 6'4", 265-pound defensive lineman. He's been dominant this year. He's been able to get after the quarterback in most of these games. So, you can tell how big he is there, and he'll be headed up to Madison right after this season, this school year, actually. And then lastly here, George, Cruz Law from CPA, and he's got an older brother who played at CPA as well, Cade Law, who was actually originally committed to Vanderbilt. He was on the Vanderbilt baseball team, but both those guys, Cruz Law and Cade Law, ended up transferring to North Carolina. So, Cade Law did. Cruz ended up committing to North Carolina because of his brother, obviously moving over there. He's a great linebacker for Engel Martin and company, 6'1", 218-pounder, chose North Carolina over a lot of other really impressive offers, has got a great offer sheet, and he's a talent at linebacker. So, George, those are our players to watch.
Okay, I like it. Now, we get to a segment that I hope all of you have enjoyed. George Robinson does a wonderful job with the preps, the high school coverage for the Tennessean. And not only does he join us here in a moment, but big news, he'll be a celebrity bowler. Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night, Monday night, November 27th. Yes, you will hear more about that in the days and weeks to come as I beg for bowlers. So let's get to the important issue, George. What level bowler are you?
Wow. Terrible bowler. I think I was telling you the other day that my daughter's 13 years old. The last time we went bowling was probably about 6 years ago, and she beat me. And I'm a very competitive person, so it doesn't bother me too much to beat a toddler in bowling. But I couldn't even do that. So when I tell you she beat me, no, she legitimately beat me. Like I'm the worst bowler ever. I took a bowling class in college, so it didn't stick.
This will be the third year we've done this, and the two charities that we've selected are terrific. Last Minute Toy Store, I'm really involved in that. And the Martha O'Brien Center, which I have so come to respect over the years. Billy, you're not aware of this. I was Santa Claus once at the Martha O'Brien Center.
I wish I could have seen that.
I know. I'm glad you didn't. George, the one thing I've learned in the bowling world is you cannot screw up this event. Even I cannot screw it up. People love bowling. Most of them haven't touched a bowling ball in 10, 15 years. The level of trash talk you're going to hear that night, you're going to love.
I need to get Mookie Betts back to Nashville, and he needs to give me some pointers or something. I mean, just something to get the ball straight down the lane for me. I think my problem is I try to put that spin on it and that make it curl, and then it curls right into the gutter, right before it hits any pins.
My
So
guess is the Arizona Diamondbacks would love to get Mookie back to town real quick.
right.
I don't think it's going to
I
happen.
don't think Mookie's in any hurry to get back to Nashville right now.
So we've had a weird week,
Yeah.
and I'm probably not going to do this in the order that I should, so bear with me on this. You were at Franklin Ravenwood last night. There will
Yeah.
be a coaching change at Franklin at the end of the year.
Mhm.
What did you learn about that?
Well, obviously Alex Melton had been there for the past 2.5 years, I guess. That program has struggled. They have the longest losing streak right now in Middle Tennessee. They're at 22 games now after they lost to Ravenwood last night. It was a pretty competitive game. And remember, Franklin played Brentwood pretty good last week. And, Brentwood's the number 3 ranked team in the Associated Press poll in the state in Class 6A. So it's not that Franklin, first of all, let me say Franklin's team has not quit on this season. They continue to play very, very hard. But with that being said, they got rid of Coach Melton after 2.5 years. I think he's only won one game when he was there at Franklin. They have Donnie Webb now as their intern coach. Of course, Coach Webb coached Franklin for 9 seasons prior to Coach Melton taking over in 2021. So I would have thought that would have been an awkward ask for the administration to go to Donnie Webb, who was the assistant, to have him be the interim coach. Considering he had left the program after the 2020 season. I thought that would be a little awkward. But these players love him. He loves Franklin. He loves the school. He loves the program. I think they just needed somebody. They wanted to go in a different direction. They were trying to, they're trying to figure out a way to win a football game. That's basically what this comes down to, is that they're just trying to figure out a way to win a football game. And I guess they decided that, Coach Melton had done all he could for that program. It probably wasn't going to get any better. And they went with, and they, let him go. And now they're going with Coach Webb and see if he can, figure out a way to help this team break that 22 game losing streak. So, that's sort of where Franklin is right now. I don't know what their process will be once the season ends. My guess is that they'll have an opportunity to sort of go through the coaching search process earlier than most programs would under normal circumstances. Most programs, once they get rid of their coach, it's usually at the end of the season in December. Then they spend, portions of their administration spend portions of their holiday break looking through, prospective, coaching candidates and going through the interview process at the beginning of January. I think probably, Franklin will get a head start on all of that. And potentially could have a, coach, who's to say that they couldn't announce a new coaching hire by December. So, that would certainly help the football program going into the new year, because you certainly want to have a coach in place before the spring football practices.
Well, and as you know, George, it's always tough when this happens, middle of the season, and so you hope for the best for Franklin, struggling right now this season, but a team that hasn't been struggling, and actually a couple of teams that have not been struggling, Brentwood and Centennial, big one tonight. Both teams are 7-0, and both teams are coming off big wins, so they're riding high. They've got momentum. Brentwood, I feel like last few years they've been one of the teams to beat, and they've been improving under Clint Finch, former Harpeth head coach there, and he's done a great job. Centennial, we know what they've been about all season long. So what are you looking forward to most in this matchup?
Yeah, and this is, Brentwood and Centennial have played a couple of games already this year where they go into the game against the undefeated opponent. So, both of these programs are used to this at this point. I kind of feel like Brentwood had a little bit of trouble with Franklin. I think Coach Finch would tell you that he wasn't very happy last week with that win. They played sloppy, turned the ball over on a few occasions. You can't really do that with Centennial. Centennial plays really good. First of all, they play really good defense, but they don't turn the ball over a lot. And that will be a difficult game for Brentwood to win if they played like they played last week against Franklin. I do think Brentwood probably has a better maybe depth of skill players. But the problem with Brentwood is that they're a little banged up right now. They had a couple of wide receivers that were out last week against Franklin. So we'll see if they're ready to go. Matthew Manning, their wide receiver, was injured, and Clayton Merrill, another wide receiver, was injured last week. So I think Clayton Merrill only played maybe a series, and then of course Matthew Manning didn't play at all. So they're a little bit banged up. But if they go into this game healthy, I think they would have the edge against Centennial as well as Centennial has played this year.
All right, let's move on to a team that's hot as well. The Beach. This Beach team came off a big win last week, 34-14 over Hendersonville. They've got Page tonight. Page, another team every year. You're going to be getting their best shot. They are 7-1 on the season. They're coming off a win at Hillsboro last night, actually. Correct, George? Or not last night, last week. So
yeah,
Hillsboro played last night. They didn't play Page last night, so Page not playing back-to-back games. So both teams looking to keep this hot streak going. What are you looking for in this one?
Yeah, Henry County, both Henry County and Beach are,
Henry County. I said Page. My bad.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's a lot of football. It's a long week. We're already at week 8, so these teams start to kind of run together in your brain. So yeah, but Henry County and Beach, they are similar in a lot of senses that they play really good defense. But I think both teams have pretty much new quarterbacks, not necessarily new quarterback in the sense that this is. These two kids don't have experience, but certainly new quarterbacks in the fact that, these two kids are have taken over the starting role for their respective teams, both named Caden. One, his name is Caden Marshall. That's Henry County's quarterback. He's been playing well this year. And then obviously Caden Powell for Beach has been playing well, so far this year too. So I'm looking forward to, watching the two Cadens play, watching which one of these quarterbacks sort of steps up to the occasion, because both of them are going to be facing difficult defenses to, sort of operate against. And, these two teams, I think Beach and Henry County, I spent 16 years in Clarksville. Henry County was always in Clarksville's region. Or district back when they used to have districts in football. So this is the first time I think these two teams, Beach and Henry County, are playing in a region together. If it's not the first time ever, it's got to be the first time in over 20 years. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be that's actually the game I'll be at. I think it's going to be a really, really close game. Both these teams are no strangers to that as well. So I kind of feel like maybe Henry County, just knowing Coach Counts and James Counts, the coach over there in Paris, just knowing him and how he gets his team prepared. Coach Crabtree does as well, but I feel like Henry County may have the edge in this one.
All right, last one here. I know I got Henry County and Page mixed up. They're both the Patriots. But Page played last night at Hillsboro, and they got a big win. So one of our games to watch. I think the first time we're reacting to one of our games to watch. And last night, the quarterback Jordan Palmer. He's the nephew of former NFL quarterback Carson Palmer. He had a big day last night. I don't think you were there. I think I saw Tyler Palmatier was out there last night. What's your reaction to that one, though? Hillsboro really struggling with Page.
Yeah, and Hillsboro came into that game with some momentum, and they played well this year. Coach Johnson's done a fantastic job with that program. I just feel like Page's defense, Page got off a little bit to a slow start at the beginning of the year, but their defense is just incredible. They got a pair of linebackers that are just absolutely terrific. Obviously, Ronan O'Connell, their offensive lineman, who will play some defense at times. He's a Clemson commit. They have a ton of talent. They've been to the past 2 Class 5A state championship games. Hillsborough was going to have a tough time against that Page defense, and they that's certainly what turned out to be the case. And like I said, Hillsborough's talented. They've played well this year. I think they're a playoff team. I just think that Page's defense has just been really stellar this year.
George, appreciate the info as always. Important stuff. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for your willingness to be involved in my charity bowling night.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. I look forward to it, really. For good cause. Anytime I can get out and help out, for some charity events and good causes like that, I'm always all for it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
George Robinson covers high school football extremely well in this area for the Tennessean. As you can tell, he's got great knowledge of what's going on. After the break, our star physical therapy health moment. It's actually more than a moment. And this week, sitting on the hot seat will be Gary Beatty, athletic trainer, Battleground Academy. What does that mean? Means he knows his stuff. Stay with us.
Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work, as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications, and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank and Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Back when we were putting Football Friday together this summer, I got in touch with a buddy of mine, Kelly Ziegler, former University of Tennessee football star, going back toward my era a little bit. He has been heavily involved in the creation of Star Physical Therapy. And what I told him I wanted was not only sponsorship of this, but I wanted some health tips, health moments that in particular might help parents who have kids playing high school football. And the reports have been incredible. Holly Taylor has done a wonderful job basically anchoring all this coverage. And lo and behold, she got a good buddy, a guy that I've spent a lot of time on sidelines with over the years, Gary Beatty, athletic trainer, Battleground Academy, joining us on the show. Gary, how are you?
Oh, we are not. Unfortunately,
Hold
Gary,
on.
we're
Gary,
not.
we're not hearing you.
I think you got to unmute yourself if you're able to.
Oh, it's not happening. This is a tragedy.
He's got a nice hat, though.
Oh, darn good-looking hat. It's not happening, is it?
Oh, we're still not hearing Gary.
Gary, gosh, I'm going to have to report this. It's not happening.
All right, I got it. Sorry about that.
So you get your big chance,
I know,
in sports talk, and you almost bungle it.
Hey, I've been doing this too long. I'm not the technical guy. I'm the guy that sits on the sideline and makes sure they all keep playing. You know how it goes.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Billy?
Hooray.
So you're going to talk to us today about sprains and strains. And Gary, what I think I know by unfortunate circumstances in college, I kept having ankle sprains, and they are incredibly painful.
They can be. Problem with ankle sprains is you keep tearing a little more of that ligament each time, and it's just got to let it have time to heal. And most people don't want to keep going and don't want to miss the night. You know how that goes. But we try to tell people that we use an acronym called PRICE, and it's protection. I can't even think of the word now.
We've got you all messed up.
You do.
That's funny. So do I have to tell Holly this? He couldn't remember anything.
Oh, yeah, please do. She'll get out of this. But protection, rest, ice, compression, elevation. We try to get these ankles to go down. We try to get these muscle sprains and stuff to get better. But one thing, you talking about changing our world, we are beginning to use more heat than we use ice anymore. We've decided that you have to have some inflammation in order to tell your body to start healing. So, it's just, it's an ever-changing market.
So when a player has a sprain, obviously in most cases there's an athletic trainer to begin the process, but what can parents do to help after the fact?
Generally, the best thing they can do is talk to their athletic trainer and get some information on what they can do over the weekend, especially after a Friday night game. We want to get them to protect that sucker so they don't make it any worse. We want to get the swelling down. We're going to put some compression on it. We're going to ice it, but more than likely, starting about Monday, we're going to start back and we're going to heat it and we're going to start moving it a little bit and see if we can get some of that stiffness out of there. Try to get that blood flow back into that ankle.
Okay, let's talk strains. Where do you want to go there?
Well, strains can be a little bit different. You talking about muscles and muscles. I'm still a big advocate for ice baths, especially during football season. You help those because basically when you're really sore, you've got a very minor strain, and we're going to try to help get rid of some of that lactic acid buildup and that irritated muscle, and a little bit of ice is never going to hurt. A little bit of Advil, as they'd say, doctors call them NSAIDs, which is non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, and just trying to get them moving again, get the blood flow back.
Okay, I'll ask that same question. So a parent takes over after the game's over, the athletic trainer no longer is a factor. What can the parents do to help?
Keep the kid on task. Make them actually do what they've been asked to do. Most of the parents know what to do. Most people try to over ice. Your body thinks you're going to get frostbite after about 20 minutes. So you want to limit icing to about 20 minutes. And I tell people, I said, you're going to ice for 20 minutes and you're going to get off of it for about an hour and then do it again.
Okay, that is some really good info. Anything you want to leave us with?
Just try to keep these kids healthy and on the field is what I've been trying to do all these years. You know how that goes, George.
Yep. I'll be there tonight. You tell FRA I'm coming.
I will. I will look forward to you. You're always welcome on my sideline, George.
I will be there. Gary, thank you as always.
All right. You have a good night.
Gary Beatty, athletic trainer, Battleground Academy, with a little strains and sprains. All of this brought to you by the good folks at Star Physical Therapy. Okay, Billy, the folks at Southern Trophy House sponsor our Player of the Week, and you've got him.
Yes, I do. Brian Rager, quarterback at Liberty Creek High School, the new high school out there in Gallatin, and they've done a really good job adjusting to the competitive nature of high school football in the mid-state, especially in that Gallatin area. Last week, he had quite the day. Liberty Creek put up 47 points of offense against Kirkwood. They won 47-23. He was 13 of 14 for 208 yards and 5 touchdowns. He rushed 11 times for 111 yards, and he also caught a 2-point conversion reception. So this kid had quite the day last week against Kirkwood, and Brian Rager, for that reason, is our Player of the Week, the quarterback at Liberty Creek High School, of course, brought to you by Southern Trophy House.
Okay, beautiful. Want to thank all of you who have tuned in today for the high school edition of Football Friday. After the break, we're going to do it in a little different order because I've gotten word from Terry McCormick that that's the way it needs to happen. We will go tail of the tape of the Tennessee Titans visit up to Indianapolis to take on the Colts in what figures to be a razor-thin edge kind of game, no matter how it turns out, no matter who wins. The feeling is it's going to be really close. Then Terry McCormick will join us with his daily Titans update. And then we'll get into some college football talk because it appears to me that there are 4 big questions that need to get answered this weekend. We will talk all of that and more. Stay tuned. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615 673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in a car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
So who said I can't be a golfer? Well, you know what? This is X Golf, located just down the road from the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is fun. It'll improve your golf game, and you need to stop in and check it out. 8138 Sawyer Brown Road, and who knows, I may get to 200 before it's all over.
All right, I'm here with my buddy Chip Ward from Lincoln Home Loans. And Chip, it's football season, and it's also, it feels like it's moving season every time of the year, especially here in Nashville. Tell us about your business, Chip, and kind of introduce people to who you are and what you do here in the Nashville area.
Well, you're exactly right, Billy. It is definitely moving season, as it is most times, especially right here after Labor Day. Kids are back in school, and people are starting to think they want to get settled in before the holidays. And so what we are doing is right now we are getting a lot of people pre-approved for home loans. Inventory has ticked up a little bit. You know, it has been down, but it's rebounding a little bit. And right now is a good time to buy.
Chip, real quick before I let you go, tell people how they can reach you. And if someone is interested in your business, how would they reach out to you?
Well, sure. At Lincoln Home Loans, you can reach me at 615-500-7579. My URL for my application page is chipward.net, and my email address is simply chip@chipward.net. And so I'd love to hear from anybody. I can answer any questions about the whole home buying and financing process.
Welcome into the 3 o'clock hour. Football Friday it is, and it looks like for the first time the weather is going to break and break pretty significantly, where tomorrow, depending on where you're going to be, the high is only going to be in the mid-60s. Now, why have I been paying attention to that? Because I'm going to game one of the National League Divisional Series thing between the Braves and the Phillies. And so it will be considerably cooler at Truist Park than when I went in August, when it was steamy in the mid-90s and absolutely just heat wave kind of stuff. So it'll be totally different. So if you're going to a game tonight, beware of all that. Might want to dress up a little warmer than you have been so far. Okay, we'll go tail of the tape first of the Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. This is the Sunday matchup from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Therefore, I give the home field the check mark to the Colts. Now, normally I would have given the Titans much more of the advantage in the running game with Derrick Henry. However, as most of you know, Jonathan Taylor is back for the Colts, and he is the Colts running game. This guy is one of the best running backs in the NFL when healthy and when he's had playing time. The question is, how many carries can he really get? I would assume, Billy, no more than maybe 10 or 12. And in that respect, the Titans do get a break.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this with a lot of the injuries this week in the NFL. They're bad because they've been out for so long. But, I mean, anytime you get your running back, your horse back, I mean, that's Jonathan Taylor. He's their guy. So he's back. But, yeah, I think the Titans get lucky here with him being back, but it's his first game back. So Well, it'll be interesting to see how much they feature him, especially with Anthony Richardson playing as well as he's been playing.
So let's continue in the tail of the tape. I put the passing game dead even, and I'm going to explain where I'm going with this. The 2 home games, the Titans have really gotten some things done through the air, and in particular, in the long ball. They had one last week. They had a couple 2 weeks earlier than that. On the road, they haven't gotten squat done. They haven't been able to protect Ryan Tannehill. Who knows? So I put the check mark right in the middle because Indy has had some success with Anthony Richardson as well. I put it at dead even.
I agree with that. I mean, the Titans, they're not going to win many passing battles. A lot of times it'll be on the other team's side. So the Titans, just for it to be in the middle, I think helps them. But Richardson played well last week, George. I mean, he's a guy that I don't know we expected him to really start, to start this season, but he has, and he's played well. So I agree with this to be right there in the middle.
Defensively, you give the check mark to the Titans, but it's going to be a little different than a week ago when Joe Burrow was a sitting duck. That will not be the case with Anthony Richardson. This guy has great mobility. A lot of you saw it at the University of Florida. It has, to be honest, surprised me how early he has been able to pick things up. There were times in his college career I wasn't that impressed, in particular when he played Vandy here in November. I think he's been a pleasant surprise for them. I'll be interested to see if the Titans do the spy system on him, or do they basically tell the defensive ends, don't crash, you've got to contain.
I'm excited to see this Titans defense against Richardson, a young, inexperienced quarterback who has been dangerous. He showed how good he can be last week, but now you're facing a Mike Vrabel defense, and that's a little bit different challenge for Anthony Richardson.
Kicking game has been really good. The advantage has to go to the Titans. The only thing that you can say in the punting game is at times there's an outkick the coverage, and you're going to give up 10 or 15 extra return yards, or as they call it, hidden yards. Nick Folk has been everything I thought he would be. And when I hear people in the media, and one in particular who has talked about all of Nick Folk's deficiencies, please get a flipping clue. This guy has been money. He's been lights out. He hits from over 50. He drives kickoffs deep into the end zone. What the hell else do you want? He's been brilliant.
He's been awesome. Has he missed one? Yeah.
Not that I can think of.
I don't think so. He's been absolutely automatic.
Let's call him Mr. Perfect.
He'll miss one in Indy.
No. So here are the intangibles. Things that may or may not play out. The Titans, for all intents and purposes, will now play a new offensive line. Getting Skoronski back, as Terry's going to tell us in a moment. Petit Frere. Who knows? On the surface, all of this sounds good, but the gelling of an offensive line is something that most of us who have not played at that level can't fully appreciate. The intangible on the Colts side is Anthony Richardson. When he's played well, they've been really tough. When he hasn't, or when he's been concussed, injured, they haven't been as good, although Garner Minshew is a very solid backup if they have to play him. I think this one goes right to the wire. I've put a final score up there of 22-20 Titans in a game that ends up being decided late by a field goal. Just one person's opinion. Don't read too much into it. Not in recent days. This
is a similar score output for the Titans every week.
Yes, it has been. It never gets into the 30s.
No.
Okay, Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update, brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. She wants to be your mortgage lady, and through the folks at USA Mortgage, that is absolutely possible. So dial her up, 615-969-4350. Terry McCormick joins us. Terry, I asked the question, what more could you want from Nick Folk?
I mean, yeah, unless he's washing Vrabel's car, I don't think you could ask for anything else. He's pretty much giving you everything he's got. His leg strength has been much better, I think, than a lot of people thought with him being 38 years old. He had 4 touchbacks, I believe it was, against the Bengals the other day. And then he hasn't missed a field goal try. In fact, he's closing in on the record for most field goals, I think, made under 40 yards without a miss. So that's something to keep an eye on here over these next few weeks.
Mike Vrabel's ex-team handed him a Christmas gift about 4 months early because this had been nothing but trouble, and Nick Folk has come in and boom, shut the door on all this talk completely. Now, let's go to where you want to go because I know you've got some stuff prepared. Tell me what's happening.
All right. Well, it does sound like Peter Skoronski is going to play on Sunday, George, and that's a welcome addition back to this offensive line. Not that Dylan Radins did a terrible job, but Peter Skoronski is the guy that worked there at left guard all camp long. He has a better working relationship, shall we say, with the rest of the offensive line, such as Andre Dillard and Aaron Brewer, who are playing next to him there. The other thing, too, it looks like, and they haven't said this yet, but it looks like Kyle Phillips is probably going to give it a go. He's going to be your slot receiver, I would guess, and probably handle the punt returns. A little less clear on what they do with Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, in my opinion, George. They could put him in, could activate him because they do have 2 spots, but because Tier Tart has been ruled out for this game, along with Traylon Burks and along with Luke Gifford, it could be that they would need to keep an extra defensive lineman up and on and active for Sunday, which might prevent them from, adding Nicholas Petit-Ferrer to play as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow when they send out that list of transactions.
Okay, let's go to Burks for a second. Are you surprised that this is still in kind of limbo?
Well, I haven't seen him around all week, not been in the locker room, not been on the practice field, not been on any of those exercise bikes or anything like that. My guess is, and I'm just kind of jumping out here, George. My guess is he may be shut down until after the bye. That would give him a chance to completely rest that knee and get it right. Don't know if he's had a procedure on it or not, but unless he shows up out there Wednesday on the practice field this week, then my thought would be that he doesn't make the trip to London and that he gets the bye week off, and then with a target date maybe of returning on the 29th when they host the Atlanta Falcons. That's just a guess on
Terry,
my part.
speaking of that trip to London a week from now to take on the Ravens, when do they leave? How much disruption of a normal schedule is there? And do you detect that the players are excited about this trip or kind of dreading it?
Well, I think they're always excited to a certain degree, especially maybe guys that haven't been over there. Some of the younger players think they're probably excited about that. I think they'll try to keep it as normal as possible. We've been told that there will be practice here on Wednesday and I believe Thursday. So my guess would be that they will leave probably Thursday, get over there, try to practice Friday, have a walk through Saturday, and then take the field to play on Sunday. We've not officially been told that they're leaving on, after Thursday's practice, but that would seem to make the most sense to get over there and get a day's worth of work at least in over in London.
Okay, anything else that you want to leave us with?
Well, one of the interesting things that I asked Brable about today was this, now that the regular season is here, everything is geared toward game plans and getting ready to face whatever opponent that they're about to face. And so that doesn't leave a lot of time for Will Levis to get reps in practice, at full speed to get him ready like he would have gotten in training camp. So we asked Vrabel about that, or I asked him about that, and He said that they're doing some things kind of behind the scenes, coming in on off days and working and things like that with different guys on the practice squad. If you're there on a Friday, you can see him kind of going through some reps along with Malik Willis even after practice is over. So they're trying to work behind the scenes to help develop this guy, but it's not an easy task because he missed so much of the preseason with that quad injury. So this is something that is going to be interesting to see what happens, because if he doesn't get any reps, if Tannehill stays upright and plays the whole year in their contention, then they could be going into next season, George, with very little experience at the quarterback position unless they elect to bring Ryan Tannehill back.
Terry, I thought it all along that the injury when Levis was not able to play in the final 2 preseason games, that this had a chance to be a waste of a rookie season for him. And as we get into October, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, you hope that he's able to do enough behind the scenes. He's putting in the classroom work and trying to do what he can with scout team reps and all, but certainly him missing that preseason time is a potential setback.
Terry, thank you as always. We'll do it again Monday, hopefully after you've brought home a win.
All right, sounds good, George. See you.
Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update, brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. She wants to be your mortgage lady, and through the folks at USA Mortgage, that absolutely can happen. So dial her up at 615-969-4350. When we come back, it may not be the marquee weekend of college football that we had 2 weeks ago, but there are some huge questions tomorrow that need to get answered. Billy and I will talk about those next. The George Plaster Show is Nashville's best sports talk, 2 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. There's a podcast version available on Spotify and Apple Podcast.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from, and for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Looking for more than just awards and trophies? Southern Trophy House is your one-stop solution. For over 60 years, their team has created lasting impressions with a personalized touch. From embroidery to screen printed apparel to corporate awards, signs, and name badges, they have everything you need to keep your brand shining bright. With their knowledgeable customer service team, you can relax as they create, produce, pack, and ship merchandise and awards on time and on budget. That includes etched crystal awards, custom cut acrylic, name badges, embroidered Richardson ball caps, banners, screen printed t-shirts, laser engraved Yeti cups, and knives. Recognize your hardworking team from Southern Trophy House, where they do their best to help you recognize your best. Located at 2705 Nolensville Pike in Nashville, give them a holler, 615-256-7295. Visit southerntrophy.com. Southern Trophy House, for all your personalization and recognition needs.
Okay, I want all of you to think about this as we take a look at Steve Sarkisian. His Texas Longhorns are involved in the game of the day tomorrow. The Red River Shootout in Dallas, neutral site at the Cotton Bowl, Texas Longhorns, Oklahoma Sooners. Think about this for a minute. Georgia, right now, number one, and until they lose, they probably will stay number one. They have no signature wins. At least in my opinion, they don't. Not yet. Texas has already got a road win at Bama. That'll look huge to the committee. Tomorrow they try to get a neutral site win against that guy, Brent Venables, and the Oklahoma Sooners. Florida State, they've already got a neutral site win against LSU. Doesn't look as good as it did. And frankly, the victory at Clemson doesn't look as good as it did. But until near the end of the season with the showdown with Miami, Florida State looks like a team that may be in cruise control for a while. And of course, Ohio State has the road win at the buzzer against Notre Dame. So there's the backdrop for Dallas, Texas tomorrow, the State Fair and the Cotton Bowl. And the question is, in my mind, is Oklahoma good enough to hang with Texas?
Yes. I think Oklahoma's defense is much improved this year. Brent Venables has another year under his belt. He's been able to develop some of those young players, and their defense has produced this year. I mean, this is a different looking Oklahoma team. Now, Texas has one of the best offenses in the country with Quinn Ewers, Xavier Worthy. I think Ewers is an underrated pick for a Heisman Trophy candidate. I mean, I don't know why he hasn't been talked about more as a Heisman Trophy candidate. But, George, Oklahoma's a different team than they were last year. Dylan Gabriel, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's been rolling, but so have Texas. So, now, do they win? I don't know. I don't think they win, but I think they compete, and I think they hold their own against Texas.
I think this will be a high-scoring game. Most of the Red River shootouts, the underdog has forced the issue of making it higher scoring than maybe you would expect.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way here. By the way, it's a little bit like Georgia and Florida, where they take that Cotton Bowl and draw a line down the middle. If J.R. Ewing is sitting at midfield at the Cotton Bowl, one side is all Oklahoma, the other side is all Texas, and Cliff Barnes never sees the light of day of the place. How about that?
I don't know who Cliff Barnes is.
Oh, but Billy. He was the...
Did you really think I was going to know who he was?
You've never seen Dallas, have you?
No.
Oh, my God. You've missed out on life. So that's question number one. Is Oklahoma good enough to hang with Texas? Here's question number two. In case people haven't noticed, Missouri's undefeated. And in my little, fun vision, I have Missouri kicking a 65-yard field goal at the buzzer tomorrow to beat LSU, and the field goal kicker, who is not exactly slim, then signs a deal with Wendy's in NIL. Is Missouri good enough athletically to hang with LSU? Mississippi State was not. Ole Miss absolutely was and beat the fire out of them. Is Missouri at that level?
I think they are. LSU's defense has looked awful. I mean, they were terrible last week against Ole Miss, gave up almost 800 yards of offense. I mean, what in the world's going on with Brian Kelly's defense? And now they got to face Missouri, led by Brady Cook and Luther Burden, who both, I mean, destroyed Vanderbilt last week. They almost had 600 yards of total offense against Vanderbilt. I know it's Vandy, but, you know, this is not great timing for LSU. They're reeling. They're coming off a loss at Ole Miss where their defense was awful, and now they've got to play at Missouri at 11 a.m. And I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. So, yes, I do. It's another game, though. Do they have enough to win it, right? Can they play in a shootout with LSU? We'll see. LSU, I think, favored by 5.5 last I checked. I would take Mizzou to cover. It's hard to say they're going to win it, though. I don't know. I think LSU is a team that probably gets back on track here. But, George, another game here. Missouri can certainly compete here.
Here is maybe the problem for Missouri. Even in defeat last week, Jaden Daniels, who I think is the best quarterback in the league, was on fire. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't win at Ole Miss, but it certainly was not because of him. He was brilliant. If he's brilliant tomorrow, Missouri's got a problem in that area.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, if Missouri wins to go to 6-0, there is a game at Georgia later in the year. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Now, question number 3 at 2:30. Jimbo. And let me just say this about Jimbo. I thought it sucked a week ago when he tried to score with 4 seconds left against Arkansas when the decision had already been made.
That was Bush League.
It was totally uncalled for. And if I'd been Sam Pittman, I'd have sat on him.
I don't wish that upon anybody.
Well, I just thought it was really Bush League.
It was.
But now Jimbo gets Nick Saban tomorrow in College Station. And because the game is in College Station, I really think A&M's got a real shot at this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, another game. I think this is bordering on a pick-em right now because I'm hearing some rumors
1.5
that Jalen Milroe is dealing with a hammy. I don't know how true that is. It could be a big old smokescreen, but Alabama is not the same Alabama that we're used to for the last couple of years, actually. I mean, this has been a beatable Alabama team. It's time for Texas A&M. I mean, this is do or die for Jimbo and the Aggies. This is a must-win for them. I think they get it done.
So, here are a couple of thoughts. A&M goes with the second quarterback, Brad Johnson's kid. Yep. He will play again. He looked pretty good a week ago, good enough for you to have confidence that he's capable of delivering. The good news for A&M being at home, they will make Alabama's cadence at the line of scrimmage really, really difficult.
Yeah.
They'll cause some issues. There are 105,000 in Kyle Field. Woo. I've never been there, but I'll take Watson's word that it's the loudest place going.
The home of the 12th man. That's going to be the best atmosphere of the weekend, I think, and probably the best atmosphere Alabama's going to see the rest of this season. I know they've still got the Iron Bowl with Auburn down in at Jordan-Hare, but, I mean, Texas A&M, that atmosphere is tough to beat. I cannot wait for this one.
2 games out west in a week that doesn't have a ton of big games. Washington State at UCLA. In normal years, this is a complete blowout. But this is not your father's Washington State. This kid at quarterback, Ward, he is the real deal for Washington State. And if the season stopped right now, he'd be an invitee for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. He's that good.
Yep.
Is UCLA ready for that? I don't know, but we'll find out tomorrow. The other one involves Oregon State. They go on the road to Cal.
Mm-hmm.
Cal gave Auburn a lot of trouble. I think they're in real trouble trying to hook up with Oregon State, who I think is really good.
DJU.
Yeah.
He looks like a quarterback now that he left Clemson, which I think is hilarious.
He sure does, doesn't he?
I know one guy that doesn't like that. Jeff Francoeur, the old Clemson guy. He's probably not too. Well, I don't know how.
I don't know.
A lot of Clemson people feel about
him about it.
About DJU going over there. I mean, they were pretty down on him, and all of a sudden they may want him back. That's what college football does to you.
Once the 2:30 games are over, the most important thing going on tomorrow, Truist Park in Atlanta. I can't wait. I am
Atlanta
pumped.
It's going to be hot. They better bring it.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. It appears it's going to be Spencer Strider for Atlanta. Philly being a little coy about their options. We know it's not going to be Aaron Nola. We're pretty sure that it's not going to be Zach Wheeler. So on paper, the Braves will get the easiest matchup of the series. Thus, tomorrow has to be an Atlanta win if they're going to get this series.
Yes, it does.
Period.
Yep, because when they head to Philly, on Wednesday of next week, that's a 4:00 first pitch on TBS as the schedule has been announced.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, 4:00 on Wednesday.
4:00 our time or their time?
4:00 our time.
Okay.
On Wednesday. And then Thursday,
to
5
be
Thursday, 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
If necessary.
Isn't that special?
And then, if necessary, on Saturday in Atlanta, 5 o'clock. Next Saturday.
They've already announced that.
Yep.
Isn't that special?
I'm glad, I know Braves fans don't want to have to play the Phillies at night, but they're going to have to.
Nobody wants to play the Phillies.
That place is a snake pit.
Yeah, it is. Okay. After the break, plaster bet of the day. If I counted right, I've got 6 of them. Do I feel good about them? Heck yeah. We'll reveal them next.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Final segment on a Friday. It's time now for Plaster's Bets of the Weekend, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Give them a call, 615-242-9000, or log on to their website. That's bartdurham.com. All right, let's start by checking out what happened last night. Another win and another loss. So, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win this week. So 500 week, George. The Commanders got boat raced by the Bears. And Western Kentucky got a win. So the Toppers stay hot.
They were great in the first half, not so good in the second half, and at least against the spread, held on for dear life. The Commanders, what a pitiful effort.
Horrible
Good
showing.
for Magic to come out and rip his new team.
So he's part owner.
He is part of the ownership group.
Why did he join that cesspool?
Well, and getting the NFL fraternity, it was probably something he felt like he couldn't pass up. So
look what he walked into.
Oh my God. So let's get on to this weekend. Let's start on the college football front. I'm taking Missouri. I'm taking Brady Cook. I am sold that Missouri can hang with LSU because LSU's defense stinks. They now know that they have no chance at a national title. They really have no shot at the SEC West if they lose on Saturday.
Yeah.
And frankly, I just don't see the pizzazz about them that I should.
No, they've regressed, to say the least, after last season.
So I'm taking Missouri plus the points at home. Why am I taking Texas? Because I think they're significantly better than Oklahoma. Yes, hook them. Make sure and hook them. This game probably will be very tight, but Texas will cover with a late touchdown. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree. I think Texas wins. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be tough to cover that. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But I do like Texas to win that.
On to College Station. I'm going A&M because I think A&M will do what Alabama's last two opponents have not been able to do, and that is stop the run. Think about it. Mississippi State did nothing against Alabama's ground game. Ole Miss in the second half might as well have put up the white flag. A&M's not going to do that. Now, if Alabama can run the football, I'm probably going to be wrong. I don't think they're going to be able to, and if that's the case, then it's up to Jalen Milroe or Ty Simpson or somebody to get it done through the air, and I don't think Alabama's good enough to do that.
Well, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Max Johnson, the son of Brad Johnson, and he will be in attendance. I'm interested to see how much camera time he gets. He got a lot of it again in the Arkansas game, but can Max Johnson? He's going to have to win it, I think, and I think he's good enough to. He's also taking some shots, so we'll see if he can stay healthy. This Alabama team's probably going to be headhunting old Max Johnson. So
by the way, it'll be warm.
It'll be warm out in at the Cotton Bowl, the Texas State Fair.
No, I'm talking about at A&M.
Oh, metaphorically.
Yes, nothing is hotter than College Station. Okay, I've got one more, and it may not be on here. Or is it? There it is.
There it is.
Okay. Let me explain
Coach
where
Prime.
I'm going here. Arizona State is dreadful. They will struggle to score, In Colorado, for all of the patting on the back that they got around USC, it's an L. And Prime has let them know it. This is a game on the road that they've got to win. They will win it. They will cover. My gut feeling, Colorado wins this in double digits. This is one you need to load your wagon on. If you need double up to catch up, take Colorado.
You say Arizona State's going to struggle to score. There hasn't been a team Colorado's played that has struggled to score.
That's been a problem. But Arizona State's offense is dreadful.
Yeah.
Now to the pro game. Okay, I'm going JETS because karma is a
you-know-what.
Fill in the blank. Rhymes with itch. I just think this week in the Jets locker room, two things will have emerged. Number one, a new confidence in Zach Wilson, that if the offensive play callers will give him half a chance, that he can hang in there. Everybody these days hangs in there with Denver. And Sean Payton made some comments about Nathaniel Hackett before the season that I'll guarantee you is bulletin board material this week at JETS. They will come out fired up, and there will be a player at some point in that game that gets close enough to the sideline to tell Sean Payton that karma is what? Yeah.
JETS.
Yeah, they're going to cover. Now, the one Sunday night, this may be the best Sunday night game we've had in a while.
Yeah.
These are two Super Bowl contenders. Why am I taking San Fran at home? Because Dallas always finds a way to screw it up, and they will do it again. Now, San Fran will have its hands full trying to block Micah Parsons. The good news is Brock Purdy's got a little bit of mobility. Yeah. He can move around and tap dance, and he's going to need to against that Cowboy front four. This will not be easy. This feels to me like 17-10, 20-13, 21-16. Nobody's scoring 30 in this game, but San Fran covers.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them?
I like it.
We get to next week and a little more pro football. Maybe we haven't publicized this one enough, but next Wednesday, our next Wilson Bank and Trust Sports Speaker Series, boy, I can't even talk, will involve former Titans coach Jeff Fisher. He will be the featured speaker. We will do a long-form interview with Jeff from 11:30 to, give or take, 12:45. We'll talk things about the Music City Miracle that maybe have never been brought up before.
Oh.
Maybe we'll talk about his days on the NFL competition committee. What kind of things would he like to see the league do now that they're not doing? And what does he think of the Mike Vrabel Tennessee Titans? If you want to hear all this, come on out and join us. Do me the favor of emailing me over the weekend simply to make a reservation. The email is plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Hope all of you have a great weekend. Billy,
yep.
Nice free shirt.
Thanks, George. I knew you would notice that.
Yes, you didn't pay for that, did you?
No.
No. Did I pay for this?
No.
You're right. Okay. Most importantly, as we say goodbye, good luck to my Atlanta Braves. See you Monday.